Mixed Doubles Curling Championship 2015. It's in the Ice Cube Curling Centre you want to be this week as teams are battling it out in the curling season's last championship. My name is Sander Elvog and I'm joined by my warm-hearted colleague Sara Carson for this matchup between Switzerland and Russia. We'll take a look at the standings. Sara?
Of course, Sander. Of course, this is the A group. You have 3 groups in the World Mixed Doubles Curling Championship and divided into 3 groups, 10 in each. You can see Russia, they're at 6-0, looking really good for them to make the playoffs. They have yet to play Switzerland today, Turkey and Australia. And Switzerland just needing maybe 1 or 2 more wins. They have 3 games to go, playing Russia, Slovakia and USA in their final games. So it's really important for them to win to keep themselves in contention for playoffs. Lineup for Switzerland is Carol Howell, Mark Pfister, and their team coach is Lawrence Meadow.
Lineup for Russia today. We've seen them on the broadcast a few times before, so these names will be familiar. Victoria Moiseva and Piotr Dron will be joined by team coach Sergei Belanov. And the rules of play.
Yeah, mixed doubles curling. There's 2 players, 1 male, 1 female. 6 stones per team. 1 is pre-placed. So you have 22 minutes of thinking time. They play 8 ends with extra ends if necessary, and the players will throw either stones 1 and 5 or 2, 3 and 4. They can switch position between the ends. Both players can sweep. No takeouts until the 4th stone of each end.
We're going to take a look at the stone colors as well. Switzerland playing the red stones. Russia will throw the yellow. Russia just outdrawing Switzerland in the last stone draw, 4.2 centimeters better. And just enough for them to have that advantage. Switzerland will start off, and it's Carol Howell to throw the first rock. And we'll be looking for that ever so important freeze to get it a good start to the end. Here she is.
Yeah, promising start, just both teams with a good last stone draw. It means they should have their draw weight ready. As always, it's really important to make this first freeze. Maybe a bit of a miscommunication there, sweeping for line or for weight, and didn't really need either. So there's a little tap and some separation for Russia and Victoria Moiseva to work with when she gets ready to play her stone. On to plan B here, keeping it high side and really spreading them apart. Good line call by Piotr. Switzerland not allowed to hit anything yet. It's not until the next stone for Russia that takeouts are allowed. And what can you tell us about Mark Pfister?
Well, he's a very accomplished curler. Won the Swiss Championship this season, qualifying for the World Championship. Although didn't quite make the playoffs. Had a really good season, so he's really on his way up in the curling world. He's been around for a number of years and now just managing to make it into the big leagues.
Those sexy. Vind je dat sexy?
So, hack weight. Russia have a chance of sitting 3. Piotr Dron, player for Russia, also very accomplished. He has won the World Mixed Doubles once. with Jana Nekrasova and Chelyabinsk. And because they went on a high side with Victoria's previous shot, they now have a chance to sit 3 and have them quite widespread out. So this is a really great start for Russia. Dron's shooter rolls into a good spot, just top of the forefoot. So a freeze is now the call for Switzerland, and this is when it starts to look a bit uncomfortable if you're in the hack. Opponents have hammer, you're sitting 3 and you're trying to freeze your way out of trouble. Really need to be perfect with this one.
T-line, huh?
T-line.
Gut.
Noch Länge. Noch mit T-line, sieht schneller aus. Achtung, Tierlinie.
Länge ist gut.
Had a really good run of the World Championship. As a skip for Team Switzerland. Had a record of 5-1 after 6 games, but ended up losing
That's schon
sehr
fein jetzt.
5 games. Yep.
Yeah, they were looking so strong in the beginning. And Russia now come in on this side of the sheet. They could also make a play on their own top on the other side to try and remove the yellow that way, because they need to come fairly tight to their top stone if they want to make this without jamming.
Kolotka, that means hack, does it not?
It does. We've learned that this week.
Seems a little heavier than hack, but gets to the face of the red. See some Russian fans in for this evening's draw.
Yeah, this team is always drawing a crowd into the ice cube.
Pretty big arena though, so people are a bit spread apart. 3,000 seats. Of course, Ice Cube Curling Centre being the venue for last year's Olympics. Curling Olympics. When we saw Team Canada win both the gold for men's and women's. Brian Jacobs, Jennifer Jones. Team Russia having a chance here to win gold in front of their home crowd, which Peter Dron did do in 2010, won the gold medal in Chernobylsk.
And that was a mistake that Switzerland really couldn't make at this point of the end. Russia with hammer and sitting 2.
Окей. Пусть здесь бьет. Ну лучше того желательно красного. Да. Щетка.
So I want to put a third one in here where they make it hard for Switzerland to remove more than one. They don't.
Давай 7.
They can't leave any sort of triple. Get this one in behind the guards, and Carol Howell is gonna face a tricky task.
Line.
Очень ждать. Воу, подожди. Пока шире. Воу. Ничего. Только вес. Что
Здесь
свет?
похож. Фриз.
Внимание. Свип.
Здесь есть.
Свип.
Здесь есть.
Воу.
Фриз нижний.
Свип.
Really nice shot there by Dr. Dron. Seen him make those touch shots all week. He might just be up for winning another gold medal here at the mixed doubles with this type of play. And that shot's just not going to go anywhere.
Oh, and I'm wondering if he's lined it up so the yellow one will stick on the back red, but I don't think so. I think Carol, she's just going to need to throw throw a hit down here and see how much she can get rid of. Switzerland has won the world mixed doubles 5 times.
Good.
Oh, almost over curls there. Would have liked to sit on top, perhaps. Now a chance to draw for 3 for Team Russia.
Катит нормально.
Yeah, if she just makes this onto one of the yellows, it will be enough for 3.
Last stone of the first end here. Could be a great start for the Russians. If Victoria could ever pull off this draw.
Won't quite get it there though, so they will have to settle for a score of 2. And, a bit of a relief for Switzerland, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely a score of 2 isn't too bad. And Switzerland now will have hammer. And of course we'll try and score a couple back. As we see bigger scores on the other sheets next to us. Denmark's just scored 3 on Japan in the first end. France scored 4 on Turkey, while USA stole a point against Australia. We'll have the Czech Republic pick up a single point against Slovakia, and we'll keep you updated on those on those games as they progress. Victoria Moiseva here has joined Anna Sidorov's rink as they've played the Winter University Games last 2 times, this year and 2 years ago, winning gold both times. She has also participated in the World Junior Championships for Russia and got a bronze medal back in 2012 in Östersund, Sweden.
Yeah, very accomplished curler. That is exactly what you'd want to do with the first one. That is the perfect freeze.
Yeah, it's harder to make any better than that. Just got the perfect line. We saw her in the last game with Russia. We saw Moiseva have perfect draw weight on every single shot, but there would always be just a little bit too much to the right or left. Couldn't quite get the line, but this one's just absolutely spot on.
And for the team now with hammer, it's quite nice if you can also get a good line, but have just a little bit more weight so that you tap that backing off a little bit. Make sure that everything isn't locked together.
Carol Howell also got some experience as an alternate. She joined Binia Felcher's team for the World Championships in 2014 to win a gold medal, and also this year with Alina Petz. So technically a back-to-back world champion, although I haven't played a whole lot being the alternate. But again, that's a very nice experience to have joined those championships. And probably make her a bit more comfortable playing this type of arena.
Yeah, of course, she will be used to both the ice and the stones because she would have been out there for practice, and also the atmosphere of a world championship. And just again, that's a really, really nice shot. Both of the reds are now back of the tee line. Russia really controlling the front.
Pointing at the freeze here. I'd be tempted to tap up the back red just to free that yellow. We've talked about that all week. When you have last stone, you really need to start early and leaving yourself some room. knowing that you're going to have to play 2 stones to tap that yellow up. Might as well start here. Might very well be the call, though. We'll see where this one ends up from Pfister.
Yeah, certainly you don't want to overthrow it, because even though the tap is really important, I agree with you, Sander. You need good line too. You don't just want to hit it high side and roll open. But this is not the way you want to error. Short. Of course, the tap was always the option. And here you see the coach for Switzerland, Lorenz Bido. Of course, she also has a silver from the Olympics in 2002.
And Russia is not going to be too fancy here, thinking that Switzerland's not really left with a whole lot, so I think they're going to throw the long guard.
Yeah, I do like the call of a guard here. They're sitting shot. It's really hard for Switzerland to do anything about it. Might as well make it even harder for them. And, he's put it right in the middle there. It's a nice little wall. Sergei Belanov is the Russian coach. I think he just realized that he's on TV. Switzerland's gonna need to tidy things up now. And we've seen Mark Pfister throw some really big weight, seems to really like throwing peels. Question is it too late to clean this end up? Hope not for them. Oh, such a good attempt. Get rid of the backing, but with those 2 yellow guards still in play and the yellow shot stone, it was always going to be tricky. He needed to stick his shooter on the pin. So good effort, but it's still Russia in control.
Лайн. Край поляны.
Легко. Нет, нет, не меняйся.
Это за. За. Нет, можно есть.
Вот сюда. Свип. 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 Еще.
Really wanting that draw a bit higher to choke the path off for Switzerland, but sweeping it to get it all the way back so that it's not just a stone that can help Switzerland. Two stones left for the Swiss.
Ja, der Rot geht auch angehen.
Ja. Ich will mal hier auftun.
Und dann machen sie wieder Guard.
He could perhaps draw the pin. It's, not an easy shot. I think they're looking at running the guard again. Or coming straight to the yellow, try and spill everything off the forefoot.
Vielleicht nimmt noch etwas mit.
Trying to leave a bit more room for them to score. The last one. Yeah, tricky shot though. There's a big chance the red one's going to go. The question is, where's the yellow one's going to end up?
Ja.
Ooh, bit of a wobble from Pfister. Maybe wanting to throw a bit much too weight, a bit too much weight on that shot, and yeah, that's not going to improve the situation a whole lot, really.
Я могу расшевелить плохо.
Тэп или закрыть?
Закрыть. Но она может бить, но пусть
Привести
бьет.
она может такой навесной кинуть. Но это сложно.
Мне не очень нравится вот сюда подставить, чтобы она... Мне больше нравится закрыть. Нет?
Закрыть вот это или это?
Здесь сложно привести.
Давай.
Who do you think is in charge on this team, Piotr or Victoria?
I've been thinking about that. I might have to ask them. It does seem like Victoria is
8+.
calling a lot of the shots.
Да, окей.
And I like it because I normally think it sounds like she's got some pretty good ideas. They seem to have a good dynamic going. They're always talking, so I think that's a good thing. And it sounds like they're agreeing most of the time.
I think for them and for many teams here, it's very often the player throwing the shot that gets their call in.
Yeah, but it could also be quite good. Say in a regular curling game, you always have one person that's the skip, and that's normally has the last word in a lot of the shots. So it could be good to have that role set up too, that one player is the skipper and maybe takes more responsibility.
Yeah.
Do you think that makes sense?
It's very hard to be democratic with only 2 people on the team.
Yes.
You're usually 4. You might have at least 3 against 1, and then you're good. But
yeah, but it could maybe create like a more secure feeling in the team. And it's a tough one again for Carol Howell, facing well, just the one yellow, but a tricky job just to try and score. And she's gonna be close, but it's not gonna be enough. And it's gonna be a steal of 1 for Russia, move them up to a 3-0 lead. That was a hard shot. She was playing super long, and maybe just with hack weights, she came very close. So Victoria Moisieva really set them up, Russia, in the previous end. That perfect freeze was really the shot that put Switzerland in some trouble early. Of course, she's looking to make it again, 68%. We've seen her be very good on a couple of the games that we've shown them.
Тип! О, тип! Тип! Да, до конца, тип! Да. Да, давай.
However, hits the guard, so Switzerland might have a chance to set themselves up to close it in on the scoreboard in this end, wanting this top 4, top 8 foot. And 55% for Carol Howell. Would probably like to increase those numbers a bit, do you think?
Yeah, having a bit of a struggle this week. This one seems like this one might pull up a bit short too.
Okay.
A missed opportunity there. You put that in top 8, top 4 foot, and it's game on, really. Now it's going to be Russia with the opportunity again.
Might need to discuss the weight of the ice a bit more. Of course, if when you're used to 4-man curling, you got 2 sweepers that will communicate the speed with you a lot. And if you're used to that and not getting it for the mixed doubles, it can be hard to figure out the weight. So maybe keep the conversation going. Maybe do some split times. You see a lot of teams out there where the stopwatch is getting the split times for their opponent shots. Just trying to keep track of everything as much as they can, as they're a bit limited compared to normal curling. And sometimes you're in the hack, you just feel a bit alone too. If you're not sure what's going on, it's nice to have the other person keeping an eye on things. We'll see Mark Pfister at 70%, ranked 12th among the male players. So he's bound to have had some good games this week. But yeah, a bit surprising to see maybe Switzerland lose that many games. Lost to Turkey yesterday. It's a bit of an upset. Lost in an extra end.
Yeah, with hammer even, I believe.
Yep.
Of course, having hammer isn't as much of an advantage in mixed doubles curling.
Let's tap this yellow one back. And sets on top of the 4, so a nice spot for the red. Piotr John can corner freeze, I think. Seem to be very much on top of things, Team Russia. They know what they're doing. As mentioned before, Piotr John, a former world champ in mixed doubles. And he also had quite the play downs to get here. Do you remember how that worked out? They played the...
I do remember.
Yeah.
They had the nationals, won that, and then the Curling Federation really wanted them to prove themselves, so they had put together some, well, top teams, and they also had to qualify against these teams. And first we're going to see the Russian fans and the Russian senior women's team. And, well, once they had qualified against those teams, they were sent to a training camp together with one other mixed doubles team that was there with them just for practice games, so that they could fix a couple of things that they've been thinking about during nationals. So super prepared, of course, for a world championship in their home country. They want to do extra well.
Seems to be paying off so far.
Yeah, they have been pretty outstanding in all the games that we've seen them. Although Denmark came pretty close to beating them.
Yeah, Denise Dupont had a shot to win, but only had 2 seconds left on the clock, which I think disturbed those final thoughts a little bit. But apart from that, they've been quite solid, Team Russia.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if they can, are they going to throw some weight at this to really get some red movings? Thinking about guarding or tapping everything up to sit for shot.
Мы сильный, можем вот этот вот здесь оставить, будет плохо. А этот, например, шире пойдет, а этот здесь останется. Ну,
Можно все выбить теоретически.
плохие углы, мне не нравится. Этот может в этот пойти, этот может здесь остаться. Неоправданно.
Давай.
Гард.
So they're going to guard, hoping to just give up the one that way, I think. They make a perfect guard. I guess Switzerland has that draw around the out turn a bit wider.
Yeah, I like this call. Again, seeing a lot of teams being just overly aggressive. But, you know, in a normal curling game, to force your opponent to one is usually what you try and do. And there's no reason to not do that in mixed doubles. I think a lot of teams just really focus on having to steal every end. It's not necessarily the goal. If Russia can force them to one here, they'll be 2 up with last stone. It's looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, guard comes to a nice place. So this is making Switzerland come around wider on the outturn. They do have some space to put a second shot in. Mark Pfister can find some really good weight. He can sit too. Preferably this will be on in front of the tee line. If he slips too deep, they might see Russia come around with a freeze.
Schenderknopf.
Also Linie, gar nicht, Linie, sprich aus. Ganz weit aus.
Linie, Länge ist nicht schlecht, Zöckli.
Ja, jetzt komm. Festziehen.
Starting to curl now, trying to bring this all the way into the forefoot and just waiting for that line. They won't be able to get it all the way there. And I think Russia's now going to just guard the other side. Start red could be used by Switzerland.
Не страшно особо? Ты что хочешь?
Гард.
Можно свип!
25!
Свип!
26!
Оу!
26, начало.
There's a lot of rotation on the stones
Под него свип!
from Victoria Moiseeva. Will make them run a little bit straighter and maybe a little bit further.
Вали! Свип! Да!
I think she's done enough to cover this tap. There might be a hole, but it looks very difficult.
Yeah, and even if you get through the hole with the weight for the top, you're most likely going to overcurl.
Ja, nicht ganz auf dieser Seite und dann noch ein bisschen mehr.
Willst du den Tap probieren?
Can you play the end turn here, maybe?
Yeah, perhaps it would give you the better angle. But it's so hard. They're going to try the double tap of the guard.
Direkt willst du nicht.
Nein, geht nicht. Direkt geht nicht.
She was so close to making one of these. And,
Kann nicht passieren.
it is a possible shot for 4 here. But sure, if you only make it for 2, that would still be pretty amazing.
Selfie, komm noch mal Selfie.
It looks like they might be playing the end turn here. He's tapping his tummy. I know that usually means about board weight.
Okay, so going straight for the red then.
Yeah, I think so. We'll find out shortly. This one's going to overcurl.
geil gewesen, so.
I think about tummy means normal in my country.
Okay. Hä? Ja, nicht stoppen.
And yeah, tapping on tummy.
Musst du inhand,
It's
du?
normal.
Musst du
You never
inhand,
tapped the
du?
tummy in Sweden?
Only when I'm hungry
Okay.
or really full. That's why I have you to teach me these things.
So we don't use it too much, but of course there's all sort of different hand signs in curling. Some of them very international.
And Russia, their goal was to force Switzerland to the single. So good job for them. A 3-1 lead now in hammer in fourth end. Last time they had hammer, the first end, they managed to steal a score of 2. And it even looked possible for them to score even more. So I think they're going to try and build up for another multiple score.
Well, Russia has a hammer efficiency of 52% coming into this game, meaning they score yeah, 52% of the time they have last stone, they score 2 or more. Is that what it means? For Switzerland, their hammer efficiency a lot lower. They're down in 22%, so they're not really making the last stone advantage count for a whole lot.
No, and Russia has a chance to make it count early. Mistake in the first one by Switzerland. And Victoria Moiseeva can draw around and sit 2 straight away. And when if she does, Switzerland, they won't be allowed to hit. So they would have to keep coming around with freezes. And a good line call by Piotr. I think that one maybe just a bit too heavy, hanging a bit wide, so comes in off the guard instead. Switzerland need another attempt at the freeze.
D-line.
Ist gut.
D-line nochmal.
Finger 4 Länge.
Ist weit aus. Sehr breit. Nein, nein, nein. So ganz viel Görle. Nein, nein, nein. Hier.
Oh Mann.
So close,
Okay.
but still that's
Hast du
not
wirklich
going to be a
viel
good
Eis
shot.
Roschel
Chipping
haben wir
off the
auch
freeze.
eingegeben und das ist Mitte 12 gegeben.
And allowing Russia to maybe roll in off of this one.
Okay. Отлично.
Похож.
Легко. Свип. Оу.
Похож.
Свип. Свип. Давай, 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 давай. Еще, точно, да. Да, не бросай, не бросай. Давай, roll нет.
Nice hit on the red. Rolls a bit too far though. Leaves the pocket again. That was a nice sweeping job from Piotr John to keep that line straight.
Nicht viel Platz, hä?
He's been sweeping in this
Genau
arena
T-Line.
a few times before. Of course, played the Olympics for Team Russia as a lead last year, and also a lot of the play-down games to come here was hosted here in the Ice Cube. So they're well familiar with the facility.
And we're seeing red lights from Mark Pfister. Really not the time for this now. Russia lying 3, a really important freeze on the way. And of course, the red lights means a hog line violation.
Мы можем...
It's the second we've seen so far this week.
Мы можем оставить так, чтобы он бил ран. Ну,
Гард, не хочешь?
а?
Гард.
Ну вот я говорю, если мы поставим вот сюда, в принципе, пусть он бьет ран. Ну тут сложно.
Полкамня сюда, но может закинуть теоретически.
Теоретически может. Давай
Мы достанем здесь.
вот так, давай поставим.
Ран может сделать. Ну,
Пусть бьет ран.
Yeah, it's tough to have
приз нам не нужен.
to only play 4 rocks against 5 in mixed doubles.
Мне очень
Сюда
нравится.
подмазаться.
Но если не
О,
подмажешь,
смотри, вот классно. Эти
Like you
замазаны.
said, it was not really the time to do that
Если что, выше.
ага, да, если что, то...
when Russia's lying 3. And now with a chance to choke off that freeze. You'll see where Moiseva puts the broom. They want to just corner freeze their own yellow here.
Можешь поменьше.
Sit pretty much on the center line.
6 плюс.
Можно, да, можно, если что, не довалить.
According to his Wikipedia article, he's close to 6'5", Piotr Drawn,
Сам.
197 centimeters. Big guy.
Нет,
Да повыше, повыше.
сильно выше.
Yeah, super strong. If you're ever going to play a game with just the one sweeper, I'd be quite happy if it was Piotr Drawn.
Плюс.
Свип!
Oh,
Сам, спокойно.
but all of that strength has not helped him on this occasion. And I think that's a sigh of relief for Mark Pfister. I mean, Russia lying 4, but the same freeze to get them all, and keep them all from counting is available.
Have you ever seen a person hog a rock twice in a row?
Ja, varen 4 is ook goed. Zeker.
Twice in a row.
So, 2 times in a row.
What happened to China in the Olympics?
It wasn't back to back, though, I think,
No.
but they were hogging a few. Not this
Yes.
time for Mark Pfister, though.
No, I don't. I think once you've hogged a stone, you're pretty. You really want to make sure you don't do it again. So the important thing, though, is still to focus on having a good slide and a good release. You can't just think about the hog line and let that affect your throw.
Perfect weight from Mark Pfister. Just wanted to curl a half foot more.
Yeah, this is a really good shot, but I think Russia won't mind sacrificing one of the yellows here to keep sitting for it. Just a nose hit. And then they will be in front of the tee line. Switzerland won't be able to freeze their way out of trouble anymore.
We've seen Piotr Drawn run very straight on a few of his upweight shots. Lots of rotation, of course. But this one seems to be of a bit more of a controlled manner. Moiseva just panicking a little bit. But pretty good shot there from Drawn. Wanted to maybe roll a bit towards our camera.
Du musst ihn schon bis hinten tappen.
Ja,
Ein bisschen rübergehen wäre gut.
ja.
Hinten
Even
8
weniger
nur.
gaan.
Hinten 8 ist gut.
Ja. Je gaat
Trying
hem
to
het
tap
rustig
this
recht
back.
ophouden.
Come quite close to the top yellow. Get a little roll. Try and make it so that if Russia tries to remove the red, it will stick onto the yellows, or at least remove them.
Wie lang?
Hing eraf.
Tiep! Oh! Tiep!
Hing eraf.
Ja! Ja, ja. Fest! Durchziehen! Oh!
It's looking quite good.
Ja! Gut gespielt.
Well, seems to be a hole for Moiseva. She can never punch this red one. Just down through this maze of yellow rocks. You could score 5.
5 is a huge score in mixed doubles. Remember, the maximum score would be 6.
You know who scored 6 this week?
Tell me.
Switzerland. I believe they scored 6 in the first inning against Australia early this week. Of course, a 5 here for Russia would really put them in front. Already up with a 2-point lead. Bit of a nervy shot, of course. You'll see lots of rotation on Victoria's stone as well. It's not going to move much. And wow, it's actually going to be a steal for Switzerland. If I'm Mark Pfister or Harold, I'd be very relieved just now. That's a bit of a difference. A 3-2 game instead of a 8-1 game.
Yes, she makes that, and then it's game over after 4, actually. Now, still a very close game. It's maybe a good thing that the players get a little bit of a pause now to gather themselves after all of that. We're going to take a short break too, and Sandra's going to give you the highlights in a short while.
So, first end of play between Russia and Switzerland. It's Russia off to a good start, already lying to Victoria Moiseva with the outturn draw. Does not curl enough for her. And instead of 3, it will only be a deuce for the Russians. In the second end, Russia line 1. Carol Howald for Switzerland with a tough task to tap this red one up. Doesn't quite come off, and Russia steals one, 3-0. In the third end, Howald trying to come through a port for an angled run, doesn't come off. Switzerland scores 1, trailing Russia by 2. In the fourth end, a potential 5 on the board for Russia, but Moiseva will not curl off and actually jam the red. A steal of 1 for Switzerland to keep them in the game, 3-2 after 4. So there you have it. That steal of 1 for Switzerland, sort of out of nowhere. Howald made a good shot, but Moiseva had the chance to really put the game to rest, but couldn't quite make it. It just means that we'll still have a tight game, and Carol Howell here will kick off the fifth end. In turn freeze. And I believe Sarah Carlson next to me can update you on the other scores in the Ice Cube today.
I should be able to do that. The game between Australia and USA is tied at 3 each. USA is second in the group right now, 5 wins and 1 loss. Australia on the bottom, still to pick up 1 win. It's looking good for Denmark, 7-1 up on Japan. Denmark on 4-2 together with Japan, so really important game going on there. France is 1 point ahead of Turkey, 4-3. None of them really in the playoff contention. Perhaps Turkey if they can win the rest. And then we have Czech Republic playing Slovakia, and it's 4-3 to Slovakia over there. Those teams are not going to be in the playoffs.
Thank you, Sarah.
My pleasure.
Just going to mention that Howell just played a cracking shot, perfect freeze. We've seen 2 absolutely perfect freezes so far in the game, 1 from Moiseva and 1 from Howell now.
Yeah, maybe some new air under the wings for the Swiss team after that steal of 1. Could have been game over, but now it's definitely not.
Moiseva tried to come down and tap the red. Did wiggle a bit, wiggle it around a little bit, but didn't leave the shooter in the best spot. So Fester here with a good chance to put 1 top 4. Comes off the yellow. And not too bad there for Fester.
No, definitely not. So Russia need to clean this up. They're going to run the guard down.
You'll see Moiseva is not going to take a lot of ice for the shot. Big weight from Madron, Megadron, as some would call him. And will make contact here. Really good shot, actually. Puts everything behind tee. Still leaves a little pocket, but that will certainly help.
Yeah, well, he does leave a pocket and the center guard, so even though it was a really, really nice shot, it's still not too bad for Switzerland. They still have that guard, they still have backing. Mark Pfister can play the freeze again.
Mark Pfister also a very fit guy. Some great sweeping action from him. And Howell as well. Two really fit curlers with some good sweeping technique.
Nein, 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 nein.
Sehr schön. Super.
And it's a really, really nice shot. Switzerland really picking their game up.
Воу! 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 Нет, 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 еще немножко.
Well, this time the run back's going to go past everything. Well, at least roll the shooter away from the center line. Howald asking for a guard from boyfriend Mark Pfister.
Yeah, the way they're sitting right now, they
Ja,
could steal
sicher
another one.
Außen 8 ist gut, lenkt es.
Do you think it's a good,
Sicher Rosa, ja, das ist gut.
good thing to be
Three.
boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife when you play mixed doubles?
Well, it seems like if you're husband and wife and you've been together for a decade, it's a little easier. But these hot new relationships might be a little tough on you.
Sicher 3.
I've seen these two maybe argue a little bit on the ice,
Oh, niet meer,
but it's just normal, I think.
It's good to test your relationship a little bit.
Yeah, I think if you make it through a mixed doubles championship,
Yeah, then you can get married straight away.
Yeah.
It's gonna last a lifetime.
Muss noch ein bisschen anwischen.
certainly a good test.
Ja.
Linie ist gut gewesen, aber
Nein.
zu wenig Hände.
Nein, nein, Linie, Hände ist schon gut gewesen. Ist einfach ein bisschen anwischen.
Сможем сделать вот так. Потом вот это все, расшевелить
Sie
немного.
vielleicht gleich ein bisschen mehr Eis geben.
Ja.
Чё, этот лучше будет? Он и так лучше будет.
Они оба и так лучше. Поэтому вот это бы задеть.
So even though that card over curls,
Тэп или
it's,
что?
the angle's pretty good for Switzerland.
Колодка
Very,
может?
very hard for
Дай колодку. Не выше.
Russia to remove that shot stone,
Или
or
бэк.
at least move it
Выбирай.
off the forefoot. Kalotka, hack weight.
Yeah, with hack weight you can get to the nose of the red.
Хорошо.
Could maybe even
Колодка.
set them up to score
Колодка
2.
борт.
Свип. Воу. Воу. Тру. Нет. Воу.
Calling this one a little bit heavier,
Вообще нет. Ничего.
close to board weight.
Ничего до конца.
Look at you and me speaking Russian.
Свип, давай свип. Да-да-да.
Well, he says board, so quite an international term. Well,
Well, doesn't make it to nose. Switzerland, they're looking at putting up a freeze again. They can also
Perfekt.
guard this.
Super. Wie macht der?
Du bist, glaub ich, schon dran. Du bist, glaub ich, schon dran, oder?
Fester just realizing, well, there's only one stone left here. That means it's up. That's Harold's turn. So we're going to swap places. There you go.
Also, bist dran.
Easy to forget that not too many stones you're playing. An end moves fast. It's not the first time we've seen this week.
No, we've even seen teams
Gleich wie vorhin.
throw when they're not
Gleich wie vorhin.
when it's not their turn.
Yeah, it was a Charlie Thomas through Kaelin Park's last stone.
So they are going to come all the way down. Is there any way you can give up to by trying to play the perfect freeze here?
Yeah, if you don't get this one right in the nose of the red, there's a good chance for Russia to blast him off, and there might be a chance they can save the shooter. There's a catcher on the wing.
Nein, nein, nein. Sieht lang aus.
Depends a little bit how this works out.
I don't think heavy is the right way to error. Surely if you
Ja, 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 ja.
just put up a guard, it would be fine. But this one looking very, very good.
Das ist schon. Perfekt.
I think they got some decent angles here, actually.
Yeah, I think both yellows would go.
Ja. Ja, nein, man hätte gar nichts machen. Wäre noch ein bisschen besser gewesen, aber...
Yeah, I really needed to be on that side of the red, not the other one. So
А
that is
если
a
я
good
сделаю
shot.
сильный-сильный, мы вот этот не сможем отодвинуть? И этот?
Вот этот выйдет, этот сюда пойдет. и мы будем-
Нет, если с этой стороны попасть, вот с этой. Вот
Maybe
прямо так.
throw this one really hard on the nose.
Да.
Move the red ones far enough to sit for shot.
Можешь
I'm not
попробовать.
quite sure if it's possible though.
Ой, в этот пойдет, здесь может, этот
I think I'll
точно
be very
выйдет.
close to. You'll see that
Давай
top
в
red
лоб.
will jam on the yellow,
Один
most
выталкивай.
likely. And I'm not sure if the shooter's going to outcount that jam. At least get rid of one red here.
Ноль, да?
Да. Воу, воу,
The last one of the fifth end.
воу. Ничего, ничего.
Nichiwo, nothing. And nope, it's not going to come off. One red, so tied game all of a sudden. Switzerland with a nice comeback.
Да, ну,
Вот этот
не
вот
надо
твой
рисковать.
пошел бы сюда, понимаешь?
Stolen twice now. And
Один так один, сейчас шестой все уже берем.
what seemed like a pretty dead game in the fourth end is now a pretty interesting one. Switzerland has picked up their game.
Yes, for sure. They're playing a lot better than the first couple of ends.
I see A5 on the board
Tell me,
in
tell
the ice
me.
cube. The Czech Republic has scored 5 on Slovakia. So 8 shots to 4 lead for them after 5 ends. As we also see France with a 6-3 lead over Turkey. Denmark with a 7 shots to 2 lead over Japan, and USA with a 5 shots to 3 lead over Australia. Carol Howell on the outturn on our sheet, looking for another perfect freeze.
Viel Platz, viel Platz. Nochmal Länge. Linie ist besser jetzt.
Play the perfect one in the 5th end.
Yep, yep. Länge.
Can we get another here? Maybe pulling up short. Pfister out to help. 2 really good sweepers to drag this one as far as they can. That's, again, very good line, just 2 feet short.
Yeah, but certainly that's a better place than being 2 feet heavy. As you look at this here, it's not going to be too easy for Russia to play the perfect freeze. This is higher up. And so they're going to want to freeze this at an angle so that it's not directed straight onto their yellow.
6-до. Куда идет? Давай на наш. Сип! Не надо меняться. На наш. Сип! Да, Линя! Сип! Да, еще.
Schräg probieren. Bisschen schräg.
Hänger 4.
Ja.
So, to get the angle right, Switzerland's going to come around the intern side and tap their red onto the yellow, try and push it back. It'd be quite nice if they can
Länge.
come up a lot so that they
Hänger 4.
they don't really want to roll their shooter too far. Like to still be in control with some usable stones in that place. And I think he's going to be really close with this one. And that's a really nice shot. Those reds are really well angled onto the yellow. We also have some Swiss fans, of course, in the ice cube.
Просто пил.
Просто пил.
important, perhaps for the confidence of the Russians that they are able to score in this end. I think they wanted to make contact, maybe even with the Reds in the rings, but takes the guard off.
Yeah, good thing is Russia is lying shot, so at some point Switzerland might have to make a move, and everything will be in the open. They're just going to throw the guard, and you know, like this call, sometimes you see teams come into the house already, but you're just allowing your opponent a lot of chances to clear things up. So putting up the guard will just kind of delay that move and leave Russia with less chances of spilling everything. But again, this is also not the first time we've seen the guard slip into the rings this week. It just seems like you're so used to the 4-foot draw weight, it's hard to take 10 feet off. That's happened maybe half the time I've seen a guard being thrown.
Yeah, and I think both of these Reds are going to go.
Yep, I think so too.
Want to hit this pretty much on the nose. Stay there, sit too.
Oh, bit of a tumble from Piotr Dron.
Well, he didn't burn the stone, so that's a good thing.
And the shot's not actually too bad.
He's laughing now.
Gets a big applause from the crowd.
He knows that we got it on TV.
Yes. You know the saying, Sarah?
Which one?
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
That's bound to hurt.
There's more than a few pounds on the knee for Dron. But takes it like a man. Just with a smile.
Yeah, there's you can't really do anything else.
I've done that a few times myself.
Did you smile?
Yeah. It's just funny. Have you?
Oh, plenty.
Alright, it's good. Also, our colleague Alison Kraviazik has made a few tumbles. So it's nice to know we're all in the same group.
Yep, well, it's a slippery sport. Especially if I've actually been thinking about this, because a lot of players normally sweep with their gripper on.
True.
And that's bound to make it a lot harder, especially for the people that are running up to catch their hits and peels. I've just been waiting for someone to fall.
Везем фриз. Не опасно нам, не так это подстраиваться.
Yeah, I think I'm going to confirm that, at least from the pictures I see, Piotr Dron does usually sweep with the gripper on. That was a good point, Sarah.
Thank you. That's why I got the job. So, deep breath now. Can't really be thinking about the fall anymore. There is an opportunity for Piotr to close the path down a little bit.
Только вес! Только вес! Линия супер! Можно линию свип! 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 О, вес! Свип! Свип! Линия да, линию не бросать! Линия да, линия да, линия да! Еще, давай! Надо ближе поставить, давай!
Some big sweeping from Dron here. Doesn't quite get down onto the shot stone, but
That's in a good place. If Switzerland wanted to make a play on this, it would stick on the red. If I was Switzerland, I would try and make sure that Russia score only one here.
they're just going to play the draw. Don't really want to crash on the top stones here and open them up. They're sort of staggered.
Yeah.
It'd be hard for Russia to play a tap for two.
Ein Service draussen.
So even maybe just come edge to edge with the top yellow here could be pretty good. But you know, when you come a little wider, it tends to be a bit slower. And I think that's what's happened for Howell here. Although it'll be interesting to see if there's a shot for a multiple score. Let's see what John has figured out here. He's looking at some type of double.
Ну, вот так тогда?
Уходящий.
Да. Я бы делала...
Вверх.
Ой, бэк. Просто тэп. Знаешь?
Ну,
А
бэк
если
или
красный,
колодку.
желтый? Красный, желтый не идет, да?
If you play the nose hit on the top yellow, do you think the second one's going to spin off the red
Ну, по-моему,
and towards the
здесь
pin?
наверняка.
Or is it just going to stick there for a third shot?
It is going to stick there, I think. Question is if could it be enough for second shot?
Надо колодку.
Think.
Окей?
We will know in about 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Двигай еще!
I think that's a call. Not throwing a lot of weight here though.
Воу.
Or maybe they can't actually see all of it.
Воу, ждем до конца. Конца. Конца.
Oh, I think that might be enough actually.
I think we might see a measure. It's
Yeah.
one for sure for Russia.
Yeah, no, I thought they were going to play that with more weight and hope that it would kind of hit the red and spin in towards the center.
Слай. Вот так. Окей.
Мне тоже кажется. Ну, посмотрим. Чуть-чуть не довалил. Но в итоге, кстати, не сильно выше
Вес
колодки
хороший.
получился.
Ниже нельзя было. Бэк мало. Через два
So
камня.
just waiting for the umpire to make it onto the ice
Там нельзя мягко.
for some TV time.
Дальше тебе пришлось держаться дорожки.
One yellow.
So here you see the umpire with the measuring device.
Нет, все хорошо. Даже мой первый, я наврала тебе, может быть, его надо было, ну, ты уже смотрел, что раньше надо было взять пониже, да, к нему, но мне показалось, что он умрет сейчас на этот, на том. Дай я вот этот камешек сюда поставлю.
Олег опять поставит деньги.
And it is yellow. So Russia scored
Все, внимательно.
2 in the 6th end.
Два.
And that will mean they have a 5-3 lead after
Да, давай.
6 ends played. 2 more to go.
Скажешь мне, когда 10 будет? Или 15?
Можно?
61% for Victoria Moiseeva. Of
О,
course,
только вес.
she's made a couple of perfect ones, but also had some misses.
Yeah, I think the big miss was that in the fourth end, where she had that hit for 5. Ended up giving up a steal, a win for Switzerland. And that's surely going to be the shot she's going to regret the most if they were to lose here. Nice shot again from Moiseva though, here.
Yeah, still with a bit of an angle. Switzerland electing the other turn because they want to get the other angle onto the yellow. 52% for Carol Howell. She's been left, especially in the first half of the game, she was left with a couple of really tough shots in her last. Of course, that's bound to bring the stats down a little bit. But this is going to be well short. I think Switzerland, they want to score at least 2 here. If they score 1, it's still game on. They can steal maybe 1 or 2, or steal and go for the extra. They really don't want to give up a steal. That would be pretty tough to come back from.
Already in the 7th end. I feel like the game's just flown by here. There's mixed doubles though, the end. They're a little quicker.
So with one good angle on the one side, Piotr Dron is just going to lock another one on here.
Wowie.
He is a finesse player for sure. I think Switzerland's just going to need to try and get out of trouble. Peel off the guard, try and keep it open, make sure they can score 1. Even though it's just the beginning of the end, there's not that many stones left.
Sounds a bit tight on line.
Yep, sweep, 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 but there's no one there. And he will make this no bother.
That's good. They're yelling sweep, and then no, and then sweep, and then no, and no one ever swept really. Perfect shot.
No, it's
what you do in practice, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're alone.
Should be really hard to sweep those two. There's no shortage of speed. It's not really any point in jumping up and trying to catch them. That's when I would fall, for sure.
It's like funny when you're in practice and you play a shot and you go sweep, 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 but then you go no, no, and it's a perfect shot. And then if you actually had sweepers, you would have
perfect shots in practice.
If you actually had sweepers, you would have sweat, would have missed a shot.
So just keeping it cool here, Russia, putting the guard back up. Closer to the shot stones now, so Mark Pfister would love to make contact with the yellows in the rings. It could spill everything here.
Etwa 2/3, hä?
Ja.
And doesn't make any contact.
Nee, geven.
Ja, es wird verdammt schwierig so.
Das wäre auch nicht so tragisch gewesen, wäre auch 2 gegangen.
I'm going to put the guard up again.
Ja, es ist schlimm.
I think if anything,
Der erste ist der Auslöser.
if you got to pick a side to be on over the center line, you want to be on the left-hand side, as we saw it.
Yeah, definitely. It is the angle where Switzerland would like to play the hit in order to get both yellows moving in the easiest way. And, Mark Pfister is going to need to make contact with the yellows in the rings now. Making it a little bit harder, leaving it shorter. Sorry.
You'll see most of the rock on that right-hand side here. And so, pretty good. Don't think Switzerland can come around and do a whole lot.
Timeout.
Timeout called by Mark Pfister.
Timeout.
As Switzerland have 4 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock, so don't think it's a time concern, but just knowing that we're going to discuss this a lot and maybe wanting a third opinion.
Ja, das geht ja fast nicht. Nein, das geht ja fast nicht. Wie willst du da?
Da kommen sie schon.
Weißt du, ich darf nicht so rauswicken. Das ist für nichts. Ich darf nur hierher wicken.
Ja.
Also muss ich ihn so treffen mit einem Tab. 3/4. Und dann sind wir nicht Schott.
Ja, dann müssen wir vorher über die Karte gehen wieder. Müssen wir schauen,
Dass wir einen mitnehmen.
dass wir das mal gerade kommen.
And here is Lawrence Bido.
Das Problem ist, wir werden nicht Schott. Weil wir müssten jetzt Schott werden, wir werden nicht Schott.
Genau. Wenn wir jetzt Schock können sehen, das ist auch gerade eine Idee, aber wir müssen einfach schauen, dass wir einstehen.
Ja. Wenn wir jetzt auftun und jetzt noch keiner mitnimmt, dann spielt er auch wahrscheinlich noch mal Guard oder bis dahin.
Ja.
Und dann schauen wir, dass wir noch mal schießen können. Dann sind wir 3 hinten, müssen wir 3 machen im letzten. Schauen irgendwie so.
Ich würde auf jeden Fall auf den Boden schießen.
Also.
Ein bisschen aussen treffen.
Ja. Welche Seite willst du?
Ja, sicher die gleiche wieder.
Same shot called once more. Discussing if they were maybe going to try and come up and tap this. But really need to try and open it up. Give themselves a chance to
Ein bisschen
score
aussen ist gut, hä?
one.
Ja, ist mir.
Need to make contact with the stones in the rings now. Otherwise, Russia put up the guard, and then it's going to be pretty much impossible for them to score. Should be pretty close. And there you go.
Yeah, it's very good, though. Sticks the one he ran back in the forefoot, so just curled the hair too much.
Hat er fast.
Could have been perfect.
Das sind Millimeter, die da entscheiden.
Millimeter.
Wow, ein bisschen weiter
Yes,
offen.
this is a really, really nice shot, though.
Тогда фриз.
Фриз как раз может хуже встать, что он
Хочешь,
наш
тайм-аут
пойдет.
возьмем?
Russia going to play the freeze. The other option would maybe to play hack weight and just remove the back red.
Timeout called by Russia.
Подумать надо и...
Yeah, I don't mind that call.
No, they're up by 2. Giving up 1 is quite good. If they remove the red, there's no way for Switzerland of scoring 2.
Yeah, and
This one.
still possible to steal.
Yeah.
You'd force Switzerland to play the cool draw to the button or
А если мы поставим сюда,
or
он
the
может
tap
и
on the
по
yellow.
двойной встать.
Да я понимаю, но что
Yeah.
еще?
Both
Закрыть здесь
not easy
подложь?
shots.
No, of course not.
Или убрать его действительно?
Или вот сюда а сюда будет хуже, да?
Just that,
Even
Она
just
теоретически может как-нибудь вот так
they should
завалить его,
see
выбить
some
на
of
два.
this red. They could just pick it out too.
Просто колодки
Yep.
не хочется убирать, это не на украсть. Может быть, серьезно, просто привезти вот сюда? Ну, привезем вот сюда, конечно,
here we go.
неприятно,
That's
но
Tony
так,
Zumak to
чтобы
the
у них
left
не
and,
оставался. Да,
Logan Gray, our
мне
colleague.
нравится вести.
He's been waiting to be on the show all week.
Ну, в общем, если честно, то мне нравится. Нет, я не
Вести
тороплюсь.
точно не бьем,
Точно
точно
не
не
бьем.
гард, потому что теоретически
Сергей
могут
Беланов.
выковырять его.
Да,
Almost
Могут
all
даже
the way
ран
down to the
пробить.
players.
Если
Да.
уж так.
наш
Да,
лучше
наш
стоит,
лучше.
да.
Вести.
У нас самое предложение вот сюда.
Я бы вез бы. Закрываться страшно, потому что
Да,
пройдет еще один
вот
раунд.
сюда тоже не очень хорошо, может по двойной встать. Ну, единственное, их улетает, один остается. Ну, вот сюда самое.
Вот как Петин пришел, вот один в один.
Да,
Как мы стояли.
Вытолкнуть его нельзя, да?
Его можно выбить колодкой. Даже оставить.
Можно. Ну, вообще можно.
Ну, Вита правильно говорит, ситуация на Украине неплохая. Нет?
Нет, если мы его выбьем, то им будет просто стеем ударить, и будет у них +1.
А потом,
Ну,
не дай
да,
бог,
наверное.
мы гард попадаем. Щетку ты мне как ставила?
Я тебе на 8 стояла, гард был шире.
Oh, no, I think they're
Ну,
playing
нам
the freeze.
лучше так.
Yep.
А может,
Our
если
Russian
Or maybe
перевалится,
top four.
хуже будет.
is telling me that it's a draw.
Чего ты
Катит
говоришь?
нормально. Так же 8.
Osim is 8, so I think they are playing in the freeze.
Yes.
They're also discussing putting this top 4, so that could maybe be an option if it's fully in behind the guard. Don't think there's going to be a double for Switzerland.
Внимание.
Very
Мягенько.
positive release from
Оу.
Moiseva.
Только вес.
Точно нет.
Только вес.
Вес нет.
Только вес.
Вес нет.
Только вес. Только вес. Зип. Оу.
I think this is going to be fairly good.
Оу. Ждать.
Looking pretty close. Just going to bounce the red a little bit, but I don't see, well, do they see enough of the top one?
I don't think they're going to be able to score 2.
Come on the end turn with hack weight, try and split the yellows. I'd say it's there.
Yeah, would you ever split them enough without rolling out?
I think so.
Well,
Or-
we're not going to know.
Well, maybe the view from the hack might be a little different. They're just going to go for the single though. The outturn draw.
T-linie. Whoa, whoa. Ik zet langer aus.
This
Ik
one
zet lang aus.
looks pretty heavy from Carol Howald. And where's this going to end up?
2 yellow.
Even before the shot settles, Fester says 2 yellows. That's not really what the game needed for Russia to score another couple of points, because they'll now have a 7 shots to 3 lead as we enter the final end. Switzerland having to score 4 with hammer, and given their poor hammer efficiency, it'll be a little tough to see how they're going to do that. Although they have scored 6 this week.
Yeah, but that's in the first end.
That's true.
It's completely different when you're trying to score 4 against a team that's well, with 2 really good hitters.
Just trying to make it interesting, Sarah.
Oh, well, it's good that one of us has a positive mindset, I guess.
They've scored 4 once this week, Switzerland,
Внимание. Оу,
and
только
6
вес.
once, no 5s.
Только вес. Пока много линий. Воу.
Russia has not conceded more than 3 points in one end
Вес, фриз.
all week,
Фриз будет супер.
and it only happened once. They've
And-
conceded 2 points 4 times, so pretty solid.
Yeah, that's super solid for mixed doubles.
Voor
We've
4.
seen even the very best teams giving up 3s and 4s and sometimes 5s. And, they're also off to a good start.
Tip. 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 Kom, tip.
We do have a couple of final scores out there in the ice cube today. USA has beaten Australia 8 shots to 4. Denmark beat Japan 11 shots to 2. And the game between the Czech Republic and Slovakia has just finished, with the Czechs scoring 5 in the 5th end. Obviously making a big difference. They have won the game 9 shots to 5.
Здесь похож.
And there's only one other game still ongoing, and it's just next to our sheet. It's Turkey playing France. Turkey having it all to do in the last end. Needing 5 to tie it up. And right now they might actually have a split to score 5.
Wow.
I'm not sure if it's on, but they are lying 3. And there's only one red in the house, and it's just nibbling at the very back of the house. So this could quite possibly be a shot for 5 and an extra.
Hing 4.
So just gonna see what happens there. Of course, our game still ongoing here with Mark Pfister kicking out the hack. And Turkey does split the guard into the rings, but the shooter slides all the way through. So that was a very good attempt at the split, but it's not going to be an extra for Turkey. Wow.
Close call.
Well, that gives our game some hope. If Turkey had a chance to score 5, why can't Switzerland have a chance to score 5?
Well, because if Piotr Dron make this double, they won't have enough stones.
Okay, fair point.
Again, sorry to bring the bad news, Sander.
All right, so for the game here, Piotr Dron.
Well, there will still be enough stones to score 4. But he would only, if he makes his double, he only needs to make one more wide open takeout.
Right, so to avoid losing the game,
yes,
Piotr Dron, you're being so nitpicky today.
Oh. Sorry.
Right, so only catches 1 red, rolls to the wing.
Game alive.
Game alive. Barely.
Irgendwie. Ja.
Still a slash on those reds there.
And even if you just get rid of one at a time.
Pfister having a bit of a chuckle, just realizing how difficult this is going to be.
Ja.
Looks like they're just going to freeze the yellows.
Yeah, I think there's not much more that you can do. Just hope that Russia is tempted to go after the shot stones and maybe won't make it and remove a yellow at a time.
Lang ist gut, hä?
Yeah, very good shot by Pfister. Actually lines them up pretty good. And Russia calling a draw, I think? No. Would be surprised if they were. I do think they're going to play a hit on the back red. Yep. Play a hit here, and Moiseva will probably have an open hit for the win on the other red on the wing. Rolls out. I think they're just going to have to play a little tap on the red perhaps here. Try and line up a double on the yellows for the last shot, just in case Moiseva will miss the open takeout on the white red.
Ja. Nicht mal spielen. Ist ein bisschen blöd.
Ja, wir müssen den spielen, oder nicht?
Ja, ich muss einfach mal einen ins Haus
Also
reinbringen.
just maybe freeze the red here, corner freeze.
Ja.
Wahrscheinlich erst schon durch.
Ja. Willst du probieren?
Corner freeze, little tap.
Tappen.
Ja.
Tappen ist ein Schlan, ja.
Tap it into the,
Wickeln genau daher.
Ja.
just in the pocket of the yellows.
So, sonst, hä?
Try and
Zuerst dran tappen. Wie schnell kommt?
Or are they
Hang it
thinking taking off the guard, opening up that situation in the forefoot and slide the shooter in? It's a pretty ballsy call.
Yeah, I think I would go for the tap.
Maybe that was just the option.
Yeah.
Hang it ist gut, hä?
Mit Zwischenpalt ist er mega gerade.
I think you just set this on, try and get a good angle, set up the double for the next shot. You're still going to have to hope that Moiseva will miss an open takeout, so.
Länge?
Ist gut, ja, ist hängen 12.
Achtung. Nein, 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 nein.
Een Gordel schon.
Nie.
Een Gordel schon, hä?
Okay. Ja.
Yeah, well, there's a double on the O's.
Yeah, if she were to miss this last one, get rid of nothing. I think Switzerland will have a shot.
Open takeout. I think they're going to play a takeout on the top, well, the red on the top of the forefoot. Just somewhere close to a nose hit, and Russia will secure another win. And stay perfect. 7 wins so far. This could make it 8. Sorry, 7. 6 wins. They can make it 7.
Sweep! Sweep!
And this sounds pretty good from Moiseva. We'll remove 1 red, and there's no chance for Switzerland to score 4. So, shake of hands. And this game is over. Well, it ended up being quite the interesting game. Really, the game swung back and forth a lot. Russia had a good start. Switzerland kind of clawed their way back, and then a few mistakes from the Swiss in the last couple of ends made this last end a little hopeless for them. We'll have some highlights for you in just a few moments, and we'll try and get a few words in with the Russian team, Pyotr Dron and Victoria Moiseva. Just to go through the scores again with you. We saw the Czech Republic beating Slovakia 9 shots to 5. France beat Turkey 8 shots to 7. We had Denmark beat Japan 11 shots to 2. And USA beat Australia 8 shots to 4. And this was the last game on the coverage for today, and also the last game of the tournament today. It's about 9 o'clock local time, and we'll be back in action again tomorrow at 2:30 local time. Our future game at 2:30 will be China against Finland. So stay tuned for more action tomorrow. It's the last day of the round robin. And we'll have, well, by the end of the day, we'll have at least most of the teams ready for playoffs. There will be potential tiebreakers on Friday morning. Of course, a lot of teams in the competition, 30 teams. There's bound to be some teams ending up on the same win-loss record. Two teams from each group will progress to the playoffs, and 2 of the 3 best third-place teams will also snag those last couple of spots in the quarterfinals. We got some highlights for you now. first end between Switzerland and Russia.
Хватит нормально.
It's Russia off to a good start, lying 2. Moiseva with a draw for 3, but this one will not curl enough for her, and it's only going to be a deuce, but still a good start for the Russians. 2-0. In the second end, Carol Howald of Switzerland with a very tough task to tap this one all the way up to the pin. Does not come off for her, and Russia steals one, 3-0 after 2. In the third end, Switzerland lying 1. Again, Carol Howald just with a very difficult shot. Tried to come through a tight port to play some type of angled run, but again, that either not coming off. But a score of 1 for Switzerland. In the fourth end, Moiseva with a chance to put the game to rest with a score of 5, but hangs high on her, and she'll actually jam the red. A steal of 1 for Switzerland to make it a 3-2 game coming into half-time. Back on the ice in the fifth end. Moiseva with a tough task to get a 1. 1 red will hang around, so tied game after 5. In the sixth end, we saw Moiseva play a delicate tap to get the yellow one into the forefoot. It'd be pretty close for the second point, but after a measure by the umpire, we would confirm that it was 2, and Russia would have a 5-shots-to-3 lead. Kind of an important shot for Howald in the seventh end. Had to come to the face of that yellow to score 1, but instead a steal of 2 for Russia. And in the eighth end, with Switzerland having to score 4 for the extra end, Moiseva was able to run them out of stones, and Russia still undefeated with a 7-4 win.
Congratulations once again. What can you tell us about the game?
It was a tough game, very interesting one, and we're really happy that we can win it.
What did you say to each other in the halftime break?
Nothing in the beginning. Then I calmed down, and Peter calmed me down. And coach came and said, just forget it and play like from the very beginning.
So now you are qualified for the quarterfinals, but are you still looking to have a perfect record in the round robin?
We just want to play the same games. Just don't think about the upcoming games, just one we will have.
Okay, well, good luck and congrats once again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Ну и теперь уже традиционное интервью на родном для вас языке. Поздравляю с победой, Виктория и Петр. Чем объясните вот этот небольшой провал в середине, когда начали отдавать?
Ну, получился один не очень хороший бросок, и потом швейцарцы начали играть лучше, они почувствовали, наверное, в себе уверенность. Вот, было очень много хороших бросков сыграны ими.
Я бы не назвал это провалом, на самом деле, просто, ну, так получалось, что они у нас украли 2 раза. Конечно, обидно было, мы 5 должны были взять, это да, но дальше они 2 раза взяли по одному, это не катастрофа, сравнялись, но в итоге мы одержали верх. То есть мы были спокойны в этом плане.
Еще такой вопрос, Петр, именно к тебе. Все нормально, так подскользнулся ты, ничего?
Да, слава богу, все хорошо, упал аккуратно, камень не задел, тейк-аут выполнил, как учили.
Ну что же, поздравляю вас с победой и увидимся еще.
Спасибо.